Hi there, I'm Sandy Allnock with this month's Create in Color video for MFT. And this time I'm going to be using the monsters. I'm calling this Monsters in the Mist. You might have heard of Gorillas in the Mist. This is my Monsters in the Mist version. And I'm stamping onto some colored paper. And you can use all different kinds of colors. Just use a color for the images that's a little bit lighter, and then a black or a white for your sentiment. All you need then is 4 pencils. You can actually do this probably with 3. A black and a white for your contrast. One that's the color of the paper, so if there's something you want to sort of remove, and then one that's lighter, so you're going to be able to add some lighter color to it. So let's zoom in here and check out these cute monsters. Now there's a few things I want to change, like this one has his hand in front of there. I want to remove that, and I'm also going to put my mist in there first. So I'm going to sketch it in really lightly with the white pencil, just so that I mark that spot and remember that I was going to put the mist there, because it's always possible to forget those things. And then I want to put a little bit of light color in the background, because I might make this the lighter teal color pencil, but I also could make it white, and I want to make sure that I don't put anything that's totally that color right next to it, so that I have some contrast going on there. And it also helps me to separate visually some of these monsters. The first thing I'm going to tackle is the eyes on this monster that needs fixing, because his stamping was not done quite right. So I'm going to give him glasses and give him a funky shape, since I'm doing funky glasses. And that's one of the fun things about doing no-line coloring with colored pencils like this. If you think about your friends or people you know, or maybe it's your dad or something you want to draw into one of these pictures, you can actually make it look like somebody else. So we're going to adjust some hair, we'll put glasses on some, we'll put all different kinds of things on them to make them just look funny. They're monsters. That little guy's going to need a nose job because his nose is now a little funky. But I'm going to work on the eyeballs for all the others. And since I put the highlight on the left-hand side for the first pair of glasses, I have to put it on the left-hand side for all of them. It gets a little weird when you have an eyeball in the way, their little iris of the eyeball. So you kind of have to work around that a little bit. You could move those by drawing them somewhere else with your black pencil and then not have to worry about it. I didn't think about that ahead of time, but now that I'm looking at it while I'm doing the voiceover, I totally see that they could have been moved over to adjust for that a little bit. This one I decided to adjust and make them sunglasses instead by filling them in with black. And then I'll use a little bit of the paper colored pencil in order to soften out that highlight a little bit. Now, if you're using pink paper, you could use a light pink and a dark pink pencil. You could make it a Valentine that way. You could do a lot of different things with something like this. Just pick some pencils that are going to go with the paper that you've got. And it's kind of even more fun to do them, or to challenge yourself to do them with one color rather than work on, adding a whole bunch of different colors and then you don't know how they're going to react on the paper color that you've chosen. But if you stay with something that's kind of monochromatic like this, then it's going to turn out no matter what you do. If the colors work, then the colors work. And you don't have to worry about, well, what's going to happen if you use a yellow on a teal paper. That might not work so well. So now I'm going to go in a little heavier with my cloud of dust, my cloud of mist, and give it also some of the little light color as well. I'm going to put some more stuff over that at the very end to make that really pop, and just soften out my cloud in the background. And I was trying to decide what to do with that second monster's other hand, the hand that's behind the sunglasses. And I am going to decide to take that out later, but for now, I wasn't sure what to do, so I left it there, and I'll just keep working around it. Going to work in a little bit on that sweater and then give him a little bit of shadow underneath him on that left-hand side, so he ends up with a little definition to his body. This little guy, I love this monster. I love stamping him upside down because he's hilarious. And give him some shadow on one side. I give him some funky spiked hair. And then I'll put some shading that I'm going to kind of blend out a little bit with a dark blue pencil. And then I'll do the other side of his body with the lighter blue pencil stuff. So give him black feet, so his black feet will really stand out, flying through the air as he's leaping onto the card, onto his little monster buddies. And then do his other hands, figure out where they're going to go. You can also adjust where his hands would be if you decide that he wouldn't land his hands where they are. And this is where I decided to take out that other hand. Just got rid of it entirely because you aren't going to see much in there. It'll make it a little simpler of an image. And then this little guy I wanted to pull to the front, so I'm giving him nice white highlights on him and then a nice light colored body. And then I'm going to start trying to figure out how to make these pop away from each other, like those little horns on that guy and his little white spikes on the side of him and stuff. That's going to help him to pop. So I'm going to allow that to work against that background color. And that's where in the drawing class that I'm teaching right now, we're working with toned paper. That's why I'm doing this, because I wanted to play around with toned blue paper. We're working with toned tan and gray papers, and you can do the same kind of things with other colors too. And this is, I'm going to call him my Elvis Costello monster. Give him some funky curly hair, because you know you can. And he's got a schnoz now that covered up all of the hand that was under there before. You don't even know that there was a hand. Make sure everybody has some feet so they're standing on something. Add a little bit more of the mist. And as I was doing that, I was realizing it was just not strong enough. I wanted some really strong highlights. So I went in with white gel pen. This is the Uniball gel pen. And just adding some super white highlights. And now look at the white on top of that pencil. It's going to give you another dimension of the mist. And I'm smushing it around with my finger a little bit as it dries, so I can soften part of it and have some edges be hard edges and some edges be soft. And there we go, a 1-layer crazy monster card, Monsters in the Mist. So I hope you'll try this with something, whether it's with these monsters or with any other stamps that you have. Just stamp them in a light color onto some colored cardstock and go to town on it. Customize them and make them your own. So the supplies are all going to be listed in the description down below, as well as over on the blog. So leave some commentary and let me know what you think of this. And I will talk to you guys again next month. Bye-bye.